All right, this is going to be a couple of examples of dividing fractions. So our first example is to divide 9.1 by 7. And all I've done here is just show that this is what it looks like. It's 9.1 would be the numerator and 7 would be the denominator. So we have one number that is a fraction and we have a whole number. And we're going to want to use long division, and to do that we need to make both of these numbers whole numbers. And so our first step is going to be to move the decimal in the 9.1 value one place to the right. So the 9.1 becomes a whole number 91. Now, since you moved the decimal in one of your values, your numerator, you're going to need to move the decimal in the other value as well, the same number of places. So you move the decimal in 9.1 over to the right one space, which means you need to now move the decimal in the 7 one place. So because you move the decimal one place to the right for one number, the 9.1, you have to move the decimal for the 7 the same number of places, one place. So your 70 becomes 70. Now you're ready to use long division. So now, to see this again, your 9.1 over 7 becomes 91 divided by 70. All right, we're going to do long division, so our denominator goes outside of the bracket and your 91 goes inside. So you do long division. How many times will 70 go into 91? Well, it'll only go one time, and then 1 times 70 is 70. There was 21 left over, so now I'm going to bring down a 0, and when I do that, I'm going to have to put a decimal here in my answer. So now, how many times does 70 go into 210? Well, it goes 3 times. 3 times 70 is 210. So, I'm finished. So, 9.1 divided by 7 is equal to 1.3. All right, let's look at a second example. Divide 6.4 by 0.4. All right, so another way to see this is that our 6.4 is our numerator, our 0.4 is our denominator. Now both of these numbers have a decimal in them, and we still want to make both the whole number. So first we're going to move our decimals. So 6.1 becomes 64, and 0.4 becomes 4. So on both of these, I just needed to move the decimal one place to make a whole number. Then our next step is to use long division. So we have 4 into 64. 4 will go into 6 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. 6 minus 4 is 2. I bring down my 4, and now I have 24. How many times will 4 go into 24? 6. 6 times 4 is 24, and we're finished. So our answer is 16. So 6.4 divided by 0.4 is 16. Let's look at one more example. All right, divide 16.52 by 7. So step 1, I move my decimal. All right, so 16.52, I had to move 2 places to the right. So this number now becomes 1,652. My 7, I needed to move it, the decimal with my 7, 2 places to the right, fill in my divots with zeros, so the 7 becomes 700. Now I'm ready for my long division. 700 into 1,652. So that it will go 2 times. 2 times 7 is 1,400 with a remainder of 252. I need to bring a 0 in to the mix, so I put my decimal because I brought in a 0. Then, how many times will 700 go into 2,520? 3 times. 3 times 700 is 2,100. So when I do this math, I'm left with 420. Again, I need to bring down another 0. Now, the laws of division, we don't put another decimal in. We only put it here when we brought into the 0, and then we can keep going with zeros, and it just makes this decimal the answer longer and longer. So we can only have one decimal in our problem. We added it here, so even though I'm bringing down another 0, I'm going to continue on solving the problem. So now I have 4,200, and how many times will 700 go into 4,200? 6. 6 times 700 is 4,200. So now I'm down here at 0. I look up here at my answer, 2.36. So 16.52 divided by 7 is equal to 2.36. And for all of these, you can do a little mental check. If I look at the 7 and think to myself, okay, well, 7 will go into 16 at least 2 times, and so you know you're on the right track. So hopefully this helps, and remember, make sure when you move the decimal, you move it the same. So if you have one number that's not a whole number, and you need to move the decimal 2 times, but another one you needed to move it 3 times, and that means on both numbers you move the decimal 3 places.